Well, it's October now, and butchering season is here. We'll be butchering 2 pigs tomorrow, and the week after that, 2 cows. So we want to get everything out, get it ready, get it sharp and clean and ready to go. And I'll show you what we'll be using tomorrow. We'll have our gambrel here. After the pigs are killed, the back tendons will go in here, and that will get hoisted up by this. If you're going to be doing cows, you want the big hoist, a 3-ton. And if you're curious to know what your quarters and halves weigh, digital scale. And you're going to need a good meat saw. It's a good professional saw. Bone duster that takes the bone dust off your cuts. We have our knives all sharp, ready to go. And we have our diamond sharpener to keep everything sharp. Meat hook to help you with the bigger cuts. We'll be making a lot of cube steaks. So we have this machine here, it's a hand crank cube steak machine. Just slide your slices in there and you get the cube steaks out the bottom. And this of course is the grinder. We'll be grinding a lot of meat, mostly hamburger, but some ground beef too. And we'll be putting all of that just into 1-quart freezer bags. They hold about 2 pounds. The bigger pieces will get wrapped in plastic wrap and then wrapped in freezer paper. Make sure you have the right kind of tape or it won't stick. And last year I bought this used butcher block. It's a beautiful piece. It wasn't beautiful when I bought it. Bought with a little sanding and a little oil. It's beautiful, it's in great shape. And these work awesome. You can throw half a pig up here, throw your quarters up here, you can cut away on them. Another thing that's handy is to have a rolling table. So you can push this around wherever you need it. And after the pigs are hung and cut in half, we're going to take them into this cooler, which I simply made out of a corner of my garage with some foam. Nothing too fancy, works great. And the pigs will only hang a couple days. When we do our cows, they'll hang about 3 weeks. So if you're gonna butcher your own cows, you need a cooler so they can hang long enough. So that's about it. Tomorrow morning after we milk, we'll get started on the pigs. Well, it's time to kill the pigs now. We got 2 pigs in here. We're gonna kill them just with a 22. And you're gonna want to shoot them a little bit above the eyes. Then you gotta cut the jugular vein to bleed them out. Then we're gonna hang them up, spray them off, and start skinning. I'm not gonna show you any of this. We're just gonna skip ahead to the skinning because this is pretty brutal. So let's get it done. Well, the pigs are dead now. We got them all sprayed off. We got it connected to the gambrel. We're gonna start skinning.
Yeah.
As you can see, I wired this up to the feet. I didn't go through the tendons because when you get to the cooler, we gotta have something to hook it on anyway. So I just put that on now, and we'll make a slit down through here. Down through the middle. Start skinning this back. Careful not to hit the meat. much easier as you move along. Just using the 6-inch knife to skin. I'm sure there's skinning knives out there, I just don't have one at the moment. The skin seems to be peeling off pretty well. Take the front feet off, set those aside. Cut up through here. Very careful not to hit the guts. And as you get started, it goes much easier. You gotta be careful down here too. This is your bacon and your bacon fat. You don't want to cut into that. Make sure you get all that out. A lot of this is just hide fat, hide flesh, hard to save. These pigs seem to be skinning better than they normally do. Got a good thick hide on them. It's fairly warm out, so my hands aren't cold. This is the first time I tried skinning them laying down. This is how I skin my cows. This seems to be working well. Once I get through here, we'll saw down through this brisket without hitting the guts. That's going to allow the guts to come out much easier. So now, I want to find the breastbone. Cut down through that. Very careful not to get into the gut cavity here. There we have the end of it. Careful not to cut yourself. Now what we want to do is cut this all the way down with a meat saw without actually getting into the guts. Gut this animal much more effectively. And it's helpful to get bored in there. Just a little bit more up here. There we go. Now that's split. That will allow the guts to come out. So now we're ready to hoist this thing up. Skin it out completely. Cut. Just a little bit left here. There we go. So we need to get the intestine tied off. So we go around here, cut around it. It's helpful to have some pliers on hand. I think we got it here. You want to get this tied off so it can't spill out when you're gutting. Good. Kind of feel that down through. Unattach it. And take some string. Just tie that off. continue skinning. So now we got our pig fully hoisted up. We'll finish out the skinning. And once it's all skun, we'll take the guts out. And we'll take the head off. And we'll take our meat saw and we'll cut it all the way down into 2 halves. And we'll get those halves in the cooler. Once that's done, we'll move on to the next pig. And that'll complete the slaughtering for today. We'll let those hang for probably 2 days. This is the brutal ugly part. It's not the part I like. The part I like is in the barn, cutting these things up and packaging. So, we'll see you then. So now it's time to get the guts out. We're gonna make a cut all the way up through here, just through the flesh. We don't want to hit the intestine cavity. Come up here real careful. Not the end of the world if you do nick the guts, but just much easier if you don't. Keep your fingers in there, throw the knife up. See the guts, see if we split that open, that's going to be a lot easier to get our guts out. The caul fat, which is around the stomach, and we're going to wrap that around the tenderloins. Have ourselves a nice little treat this afternoon. Some of this extra fat I don't keep. You can save that for lard if you like. There's our intestine. Just want to carefully detach all this stuff. Knife. Kidneys. Some people leave those in. There's our caul fat around the stomach that we want to save. This just looks like lace. It's a delicious fat. We're going to wrap the tenderloins in that. And there you have it. Guts are out. Lungs, get the heart there. This is the stomach with the caul fat. We're going to save that. And there's the liver if you like that.
How much longer do you want this going?
Just for a minute. That's the caul fat. I'll clean that up and use that this afternoon.
Sunder.
So when you saw your pig in half, you want to come right down the center through the vertebrae. And just take your time with it. This is where you really need a good saw. You can use a sawzall or even a chainsaw if you need to. The reason I went to a lighter gambrel up here, it spreads it apart, so when you saw it in half, it splits for you instead of staying tight together, and gives you a lot better view of what you're doing. That spinal cord. If you can see that spinal cord, you've hit the mark. Always fight you the last thing. You don't have to keep the edge, you can just throw that away. There you have it. 2 halves. You spray off. We don't want to spray any more than we have to. We just spray that blood. The top halves are fine. Spray it off, let it dry, and then we'll hang it up. We'll let those hang for a couple days, then we'll make our cuts. This went really well. Got a good cut on that one. And you see here, some people like to leave a kidney in there. It's just kind of an artistic thing. It also helps you know if you're going to buy a carcass that you can look at that kidney and tell that it's fresh. So there you have it. We'll see you again at the butcher table. Time to cook the caul fat wrapped pork loin. This is the inner loin, the tenderloin, and that will be delicious because it's wrapped in fat and it won't dry out. This won't take long, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We'll have a delicious snack. Good way to end the butchering day. Well, it's a beautiful fall day up here in northern New York State. We're right in the heart of Lewis County, and in October you don't know what you're going to get. Today we got a really good day. We got the pigs butchered, they're hanging in the cooler, and this is going to end our day. First, we're going to have some delicious loin. It's a real treat. If you ever butcher your own animals, I highly recommend. This is how you finish it up. Thanks for watching.